welcome to another installment of Metalhead Central, the show where I take an honest look at the harder side of music and give it an honest rating. I think my MySpace account's pretty good to go. I've got Breaking Benjamin's newest album, Phobia, ready to go, and I'm looking forward to the presidential election of 2008. Hopefully we don't screw ourselves in that one. Wait, what? This isn't 2006? It's 2019? But I'm getting ready to review a new Tool album. It's gotta be 2006. You don't say. Oh, and we did screw ourselves in that election and in the subsequent one? Wow. No, seriously though. It feels like it's 2006 because it's time to talk about one of the most highly anticipated releases of the year. Tool's new album, Fear Inoculum, came out August 30th on Volcano, RCA, and Tool Dissectional. So, after 13 years, it's finally here. Did this extremely successful prog metal band deliver? Let's find out. First of all, this album is Tool, at their tooliest, if I could put it that way. It's got the haunting production values that they've always had. It's like the album was taken into the Smoky Mountains, near where I live, and the wispiest part of the fog was forcibly borrowed and somehow laser beamed into all of the tracks. It's not unnoticeable, but all the same, the album does feel like there's a tiny cloud floating around on it, causing to have the slightest atmosphere, and it actually benefits it. It sounds really cool. It's also got the incredibly progressive songwriting that the band has become known for. Adam Jones plays around with guitar tones, from the mildly subversive to the crushingly heavy. Justin Chancellor creates these somewhat intriguing bass lines to go along with it, and Danny Carey is Danny Carey, the tom drummer himself. You know, I don't think the dude even knows he has a hi-hat or a ride cymbal that he can use, because I hardly ever hear them. It's basically just tom patterns. Tom here, tom there, tom everywhere. He's an outstanding drummer, don't get me wrong, but I wish he'd do something just a little bit different every once in a while. There are some very interesting moments on this album. Fear Inoculum itself is in the running for Metal Song of the Year, and I enjoy it when the band are able to craft and incorporate melodies into their music, even for just a little bit. It shows what excellent musicians make up the group, and it plays to their strengths. Then they're able to return to the lower register and play around for a bit before heading back into more melodic territory. It's a nice ebb and flow. I liked a lot of the stuff on Pneuma and Invincible as well. The choruses were nice, and Maynard James Keenan sounds well recorded, and they add in a few vocal effects for good measure. But my favorite song on here had to be Culling Voices. It had just the right amount of everything. It began sort of softer, and then built up and exploded into something very interesting. For the first time on the album, the band found a groove and exploited it to its full potential. Yay, good for you! You conquered songwriting! Sorry, I went full nostalgia critic there for a second. But seriously though, I felt engaged throughout that whole song. Here's my problem with the album. There are bits and pieces of brilliance on here, but then there are entire sections that just don't belong. They aren't warranted or needed. It's like the band didn't know when to stop writing. They just couldn't control themselves and felt like they had to have this or they had to have that, when in reality the album could have been so much better without certain sections. There were a couple of songs here where Maynard stopped singing and then the band just played needlessly for another 5 or 6 minutes. It's just too long. It's not a sin to write something that's less than 10 minutes long. All in all, Tool have released another Tool album. It's a Tool album, filled with all the flashes of brilliance, yet the exact same problems that have plagued them their entire career. These guys have the potential to write stuff that's both really catchy and really fun to listen to, but instead, they choose to walk the path of the hardline progressive, constantly changing tempos and musical passages for no reason. That makes the album boring as a whole. Will I listen again? No. Would I listen to a couple of songs again? Yes. As I said, Fear Inoculum and Culling Voices were both excellent. But overall, the album was just dull and tedious, and if there's one thing music should not be, it's tedious. I'm giving Fear Inoculum a 75 out of 100 on the YPS scale. Thank you so much for watching. Go and click like, and don't forget to subscribe for more Metalhead Central and the Metal Artist Review Show. Man, August has been so chock full of humongous metal releases, and it's been a lot of fun. But it's time to move on, and we're going to kick off September next week with a power metal band that doesn't get a lot of the same press as bands like Halloween or Dragon Force, even though they carry the same level of extremely talented musicianship. Sonata Arctica's new album, Talvio, is out next week, and I'm going to be examining it. I hope you'll join me. You've been watching Metalhead Central, where I give honest ratings to honest music, and I'll see y'all next time.